5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Black, stop playing with it.
Welcome to the No Mistakes podcast. In life, there are no mistakes, just life lessons. And between the two of us, we got a lot of them. I'm one of your hosts, Let JBJ, and this is...
I'm Shakir B.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Welcome to the show.
All right, today we got two special guests. Our friend of the show returning for...
Always gotta have the one.
How many times Danny been on the show?
This is her third.
Third time
The one and
on the
only
show.
Danny.
The one and only.
A real regular.
My partner, my real estate partner, my friend, Danny. Give it up one time. Yeah. And then we also have an esteemed colleague of mine, a good friend. Okay, we work in the real estate space together. Mr. Sean Yancey. Give it up for Sean. Let's go. Listen,
I'm not going to pay you for that later, so that lets you know.
If you see Sean on the streets, he's always dapper. All right, always very well put together. All right, only person I ever seen look just as good as him is me sometimes.
We debate that later, though.
All right, well, listen, welcome to the show, guys. Thank you for coming on.
Of course. Thank you for coming.
So, all right,
This is the first No Mistakes After Dark episode.
After dark edition, I guess.
It might get a little dark.
It's about 10 o'clock, so it's after dark for real.
Listen, I'm getting hot.
Already?
So what's up, Jimmy? How we starting this
I
off?
don't know. Today was nice. Good weather. It was about 80 degrees out. I was able to pull the whip out and enjoy some of the good weather. And as I was doing that, I was just driving by and seeing everybody out in the streets and everybody's having a good time. And I got a notification on my phone. Mm-hmm. And it was a guest of the show, a viewer of the show, I should say, asked a question.
Okay.
All right. For today's episode. All right. So, guys, we want to encourage you guys to keep sending in questions so we can continue to, have more topics to talk on the show. And hey, listen, if you got a really good question, maybe we'll bring you on the show.
There you go.
All right.
Absolutely.
But the question was, they wanted us to discuss with our guests, what has more influence in today's society? Culture, religion, sex, and can all three of those exist? All right, so I'm gonna take a stab at it. I'm gonna say what has the most influence in the world today is sex. I think it has the most influence because sex is everywhere. Mm-hmm. Sex sells. It's in business. It's on social media. It's in households. It's in your bedroom, and it's a really important part of marriages, dating, life in general. So my vote is sex has the most influence on society.
Does sex have the most influence because it's sex or because of the overall culture? Is it because of social media, music that's out there that's influencing how people are interacting, how people are expressing themselves?
It's a good question.
All right, so I think that I'm going to agree with Jimmy. I think that sex rules culture and religion. I think that in 2024...
Culture and society? Or culture...
Sex rules over culture and religion in society today.
Okay.
I think that more people are feeling like they want to be liberated from their culture, liberated from their religion, and live the lives they truly want to live. And a lot of times that involves some type of maybe sexual experience. Maybe they felt ashamed about having or expressing that they were interested in having before, or engaging in more sexual activity, whereas before in their culture or religion, it was forbidden. So I think more people are breaking away from the cultural norms and their religious norms and embracing more of their sexual desires and pursuing that.
But was it always a cultural norm for us, right? if we're descendants of Africa and we're kings and queens were able to have multiple partners, marry multiple people, is that a really a different cultural norm, or was it really just suppressed and we took on the cultural norm of our suppressors?
That's a fair question.
That's a good spin on that, to be honest.
Exactly what it was. If you historically were looking at it, that's exactly what it was. Once we were led out of Africa, we were taken out of our tribes, and the tribe equaled one man with maybe 5 to 10 wives. It's also biblical, right? Moses had many concubines and many wives. But then when we came into
preach with us.
when we came into the European, you want to call it, settings of slavery and things like that, then we were taught no. We were taught not even to have our own men. Like we were kept in the house, right? And we're kept outside. And then certain things happened to, especially the Black women, certain things happened to them because we were deemed, that's what we wanted, our big lips, our big thighs, our big butts equaled. Right. We are asking them to have sex with us. So they changed the whole realm of family and sex for us. And then that's what we're in now. So now we're busting out the seams, basically, right?
Busting it wide open, too.
We're starting to learn about ourselves.
Literally and figuratively.
Right. We're starting to learn about ourselves. So you have like Nick Cannon that has multiple children because he feels like he's back in his African tribe. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing as a Black man. And then you have Nia, right? What else? How does that flow?
Listen,
I got to push back on that one, though, right? We talk about Nick Cannon being back in his cultural tribe or whatever, and then having all these children, right? Under no circumstances can that be healthy, right? Because all of Nick Cannon's children don't live in the same state, right? So I got one kid. Her schedule at 8, oh my God. So you talking about what? He got like 10 kids
14 or something like that, bro.
Something crazy, right? There's no way you can be present for all those kids at the same time. It's just not possible. So regardless if it's your cultural, historical norm or not, it's not healthy for these children that you're bringing into the world.
That's another cultural change, though, right? Because men weren't considered to be present in such manners before. Men didn't take children to doctors. Men didn't do their hair. Men didn't take them to ball games and things like that. The culture was, mom does that. The woman does that.
The soccer mom.
You were there to provide the income, the food, the things, the essential things that was needed. And that's what your role is as a father. My dad is here to provide for me. Nowadays, the typical dad is not the typical dad, right? Now the dad is more in anything and everything. He's at games, he's at doctor's office.
Some are stay-at-home dads.
Some are stay-at-home dads. So it's a little different in that aspect for him, but I guess for Nick, maybe I can't speak for him. I don't know the man, but I feel like he thinks that because his financial situation, he can fly here, there, and everywhere, that he's allowed to do this. Right. But even from taking on a tribal, the man stayed in a tribe. We all stayed in the same sector. He was able to take care of his kids that way. But that's the same thing. He still wasn't changing or cleaning or feeding the child.
Right.
That's what the mother was doing, and he was out providing, so to speak.
So I think what's happening, at least in my mind, we're actually kind of going back and breaking those bonds, those norms that was oppressed on us.
Yeah.
And we're now looking at it and saying, what fits for me? What fits for our family that we're actually going to work on to actually have a comfortable lifestyle? And that may include multiple partners. That may include multiple kids. It's now where that was frowned upon in the past. Now people are really reassessing and looking at, hey, well,
with no guilt and shame either.
Right. So
that's the religion part that also suppressed you and put that guilt and shame on you.
Exactly. So when you talk about multiple partners, right? We talk about polyamorous relationships, right? Which is becoming more of a norm, right? Whereas before, I think a lot of women probably would have been too prideful or ashamed to say, I'm with a man that's, and he has multiple women, right? Whereas today, or she, you're right, Whereas today, it's becoming more of a norm to where, and we were talking about this earlier, on Facebook, there are polyamorous groups and people who support each other through their polyamorous journey and finding partners and how do you navigate polyamorous relationships and things like that. I think it's becoming more of a norm and people are more confident to explore their desires, right? Without the shame that used to be attached to it.
Agree. I think social media plays a big role in that too. I feel like before social media, those type of things were going on, but it was hush hush. It was in the house. It was one of those things. It wasn't so influential. Now, when you want somebody to agree with you, you go on social media and you can find somebody to agree with your lifestyle. You can find somebody who's partaking in that lifestyle, and it becomes, to you and whoever else, it becomes more acceptable. So it's wider ranging, it's more acceptable, and you start to see the influx of polyamorous relationships. You know what I mean? Look at your boy Neo.
Yeah. So Jim, I'm going to agree with you, right? I don't think it's been in our community, right? It's been in the white community
For a long time.
For a long time. And I've actually been approached, all right? I lived in Denver, Colorado, right? And living in Denver, Colorado for a number of years, I have been approached by multiple white couples asking me to join or be a part of their relationship. It was unusual to see people of color, though, doing it. But nowadays, it's people of color becoming more comfortable in that space. And again, you just brought up Neo, who is now living his best life out there with multiple women at one time. Danny, you and I were having a conversation with this female who has multiple husbands. So this is becoming an of color female, right? It's not as taboo as you were saying it used to be.
Yeah. Right. Yep. Social media has definitely helped grow that space.
I still think that it's, like you said, it's something that's been here. And I think at the same time, too, I think it's been here for men a lot, but I don't think it's viewed upon the same way for women. Now, maybe there's some women that are stepping out and saying, yes, I would like two husbands. But I don't know many men that would be saying, yes, I want to be those two husbands versus two women that would be like,
it's definitely not balanced for sure. You know what I mean?
Right.
You see more of two women with a guy,
versus, and which is still a little shocking to me because women are very jealous, you know. So it's really
guys can get jealous too.
Listen,
no, I know guys.
Right, absolutely, right.
But women are very like.
I'm going to push back on that, right? The reason I'm going to push back on that is because, as a community, people are actually keeping that under cover, right? To your point, Danny, they don't want other people, especially other women, judge them and says, "Oh, she's a hoe," because she do have two men, and they both are sleeping with her, right? There is I know quite a few that are out there that are living their best life.
But when if it's two women and a man, they call it menage a trois. Oh, so beautiful, so French. But when it's a two women, it's like, oh, she got a train.
But menage a trois is but that's just a one-timer. So what do you call it? Is it a train if you're doing it multiple times?
No, the train is called for a woman that just ran past.
Well, I thought that was supposed to be three or more trains. So I thought three or more was a train.
It's named so beautifully.
It's when it's.
Go ahead, Jimmy. Guys. Go ahead, man.
This is No Mistakes After Dark, guys. Not safe for the children, all right? But from my understanding, when it's
allegedly,
just from his understanding,
when it's two guys,
what he saw on the internet.
Allegedly,
when it's two girls and a guy, it's a threesome, right?
Okay,
threesome. When it's two or more guys and a woman,
it's a train.
No.
No.
That
is
like
so? That's a cultural.
No, that is not cultural.
That is cultural. That's very cultural.
Okay, that's an age. You see that? That's an age. bracket, maybe.
Okay,
right?
all right.
Because that's not cultural.
Mm.
3, I don't care whatever configuration you do it.
That's a threesome.
This episode was brought to you by the Tessier Collection. Hair and skincare curated and sophisticated.
Well, I don't care what configuration.
Okay, I might agree with
put
that.
in there. 3 is a threesome, a menage a trois, whatever you want to call it, right?
Right.
When you add more than 3, and if it's just a female and 3 guys, right? So it's 4. You add more than 3. That's a damn train.
That's a train. Okay, I think I would agree with that.
Right. So
I mean, both can make sense if you're thinking about it.
So what if it's 2 and 2? That's just a party.
Oh yeah,
That's what you call orgy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, an orgy.
Or,
Okay.
No, it's-
Well,
You said a
that is
sloppy?
Swapping.
Oh, I was like, what kind of
mean,
terms
sloppy-
Danny coming up with?
sloppy is
I thought she said
sloppy
sloppy.
part of it.
Like, what's a sloppy?
But that's a different.
Hey,
That's a whole nother.
Got you.
Like realm of it, right? But those things are happening nowadays, right? You have swingers, and there are a lot of people that are in a swinger lifestyles that are swapping couples, right? There's a whole website and everything for swingers and this lifestyle, and people are actually, again, the thing that I find actually interesting about it is finding that you're now seeing people of color
swinging.
Right? Swinging.
Swinging.
Correct.
which is which you would not see.
Here's what I would say I find interesting about the swinger lifestyle. I think that a lot of times in relationships between men and women, people experience a lot of infidelity, right? And when you're mature enough and you're open enough with your partner to say, hey, we're together, we've been together for 10 years, I don't know. Like, let's just keep it real. Sometimes you get tired of having sex with the same woman. Sometimes you get tired of having sex with the same man. And I think that a lot of times when men sit back and think about it, it's like, man, I can go out and have sex with this woman, not care nothing about her, have a great time, but I'm going home to love my wife, right? The flip side of that is women can do the same thing. So if you're able to have a mature
And are doing the same
thing. So if you're able to have a mature conversation with your partner and say, maybe we should engage in this together, right? It alleviates a lot of the insecurities that cheating fosters, right? Because when you think about when someone is cheated on and then they find out they've been cheated on, whatever, it's a lot of who is she? How'd you meet them? Yada, 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 yada. But when you're experiencing it together, I think that it alleviates all of the insecurities that come from being cheated on.
So that's my mindset.
That's just one thing I admire about.
That's my mindset.
swing
My
thing.
mindset is don't cheat on me
Right.
because I mentally can't handle mentally, right? Because I'm gonna make up all kinds of shit in my head, right? All kinds of things that
Right.
that you was doing, they're doing. If you need something else, then we're going to do it together, and I'm going to be there and a part of it. I'm not going to make up in my head what happened, but I won't. I would prefer us to do anything together if we did, but if you do anything separate, I couldn't have an open relationship, right? I'm not going to be in an open relationship.
I can understand that.
And you go ahead, and I don't know what you're doing.
So there's a difference between open relationship and swinging?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So a lot of times, from my understanding, open relationship is we both have an understanding that we're experiencing other people, right? It's kind of like a don't ask, don't tell policy, right? And I think sometimes people come up with rules within their open relationship. It may be like, hey, if you're gonna be out tonight with him or her, just let me know. Shoot me a text so I know, right? Type situation. Say something.
Don't be late.
Right.
Wear a condom.
Don't put wear condoms, right? Don't put this other interaction with this person over whatever we got going on, right? So don't be canceling plans with me to go hang out with someone else. But swinging is like we're swapping, we're in a room
together.
Everyone is having a party together.
Oh man,
They've had. I mean, listen.
Not that I know though. I saw that on
Allegedly.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
allegedly. I saw it on the internet. We were just talking about social media.
Allegedly.
yo,
Allegedly, Danny.
Allegedly.
They have these hotel takeovers, and you a whole hotel,
Okay.
right? And allegedly, you know, you go in, you
Top
sign
floor,
up,
top floor joint.
whatever, and you only can get in if you know, right? You know,
Wow.
you,
Secret code.
right, and
Secret
you
society.
get the key, you know, if you know, and
It's a lifestyle,
going
man.
in there, and that's a
Oh,
whole,
Okay. Yes.
it's a whole floor,
Eyes wide shut.
Oh, look at you.
and you can be on. There's a allegedly
Allegedly.
there are there are multiple rooms, right? That everybody has that door open, and then there's one big suite that people congregate together, socialize, mix.
Is there a qualm or a fear that you might meet somebody that does something a little bit better than the person you came in that room with, and then now you want
But here's
some type of something more
Right.
of that person that you just
and that's a fair.
But isn't
that
that
fair?
but isn't that in any type of situation in life? Right? There's always going to be. My thing is this. One of the things that keep me humble.
Always somebody better than the
It's
next.
always going to be somebody better looking, got more money.
With better coochie and a bigger D.
Always.
I mean, is there rules to that? Like, are we not allowed to go back to
Yeah,
that? Because we
absolutely.
liked it? Or
Absolutely.
are we allowed to go back to it? Are we supposed
Well,
to share
the-
that we liked
that
it? and
depends
go
on
back
the
rules
to
is
it?
what you set up
The
with your
rules
partner.
exactly. That's what you set up with your partner.
Oh.
And if you have none, you have none.
Right.
I mean, you know, off camera, right? You and I were having a conversation, right? And we're now bringing in religion, right? About the situation. And where we talked about, you know, your pastor says, hey, if your husband wants the back door, run, right? We were having that conversation, right? Right. Because they go to the back, you better go to the front. But that's conversations that you're having with your partner, right? And those are rules and that you're setting up and being open-minded on what is it that we're going to agree on and what is it that I'm going to be open-minded on, I'm not going to be open-minded on, and that we're going to do.
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting.
I think it's more so a conversation around desire, right? And the idea is that when you're with someone, you're only supposed to desire this person. Historically, we've seen that that's not always the reality of it, right? Like people cheat, men and women cheat all the time,
But why?
right?
Why?
Selfish. My personal opinion is going to be selfishness, right? I think first and foremost, the reason why someone cheats is selfishness, for sure.
So I agree with you.
Mhm.
I'm trying to get past or understand the selfishness and us agreeing on what is it that you're not getting at home.
What if you're just bored?
Just say it.
There's no profound reason. There's no deep reason. I'm just bored. I stick it in, you turn over, I stick it in again, and then it's just the same routine.
Danny, and they said about going through the back door. Then if that don't work, like you need to find ways to make your actual life in your sexual life
With your
interesting.
partner.
With your partner interested. That's now you might introduce toys. You may introduce other things, porn, whatever it may be, role playing. We go out and act like I don't know you, right? And we're playing. If you're bored, but those are conversations that should be had.
100%.
And understanding how do we get past your boredom and still satisfy your needs.
How do we keep it spicy?
You know what's so crazy? Speaking about toys, right? I'm gonna share this story real quick, man. Years ago.
Allegedly.
Not this is a real one.
So years ago, I went to this girl's house, chilling, about to do. I go into her room. She got this big ass dildo, like the kind that you stick on the floor and the shit just be swinging in the air.
Oh yeah,
like
I'm
this.
I'm
I looked at that. I was like, "Yo, I'm out, bro."
Yeah, I'm out.
I was
Go
like, I can't
home.
compete with
It's like
that.
I can't even compete.
I'm out, bro. So sometimes I think toys are good, but they can be like extreme too. Like I ain't even gonna show you how big it was. It
No,
was huge.
no, thank you.
Now,
I was like, I'm out.
wait. But if she isn't even extreme, see, but me, I'm gonna push your buttons, right?
How so?
So if that was me in that situation,
Let me see
I'm
how
gonna
you
push
use it.
the right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
let
push
me
the
see how
envelope.
you
Let me
use
see
that.
here.
That's huge.
So can
Let me
you
see how
like
you
why
do
you got that? I don't really think that can fit.
See?
I mean, what are we doing here?
Oh, man.
Right, because I'm not gonna just be out, right? I'm really going to, what is this? What do you do with it?
Word.
Like,
So with everything that's being said, right? What's the opposite side of it? How do you stay committed and faithful to your partner with all these other dynamics going on today in society?
does that take love? Is love enough?
No, I don't. But what I do think is enough is, and I'm just speaking for myself, I think that it takes personal accountability. I'm a thinker, right? And I talk to myself a lot. So one thing that, I ask myself is, do I want to be that type of person? I think that's the first and foremost, that's what keeps me faithful, period. Do I want to be that type of person? And then I go from there.
I think love plays a part, but also staying in love plays a part. You know what I mean?
But people fall in and out of love.
But that's where
It's how you fall back in love.
That's how staying in love. You could love somebody. I love you. I love you. I love you. But staying in love, meaning doing the things that keep you
Right.
attracted to this person. You know what I mean? Like
dates,
those date nights, the hanging out, even going on couples date and just showing out with your lady that yeah, we that couple, me and my boo that couple, just even stuff like that, just staying sexy,
Right.
and like, doing the fucking work. You know what I mean? That helps you stay in committed relationship. But it's not always easy, man, because like Shakir says, man, sometimes you get
bored.
You get in a space where, you're like, man, is there something else we could do? Then you have those people that have children and work and you're tired and you don't want to go out the house and you don't want to do anything and you're just like, man.
Here's the thing though. I think non-sexual connection, in my opinion, leads to more intense sexual connection, right? So I think sometimes when two people have been together for a long time, it's like, if you sit back and ask yourself like, yo, when the last time we had a deep conversation? I think things like that can lead to better intimacy in the bedroom. Because you may have, you could be with someone for 5-10 years, right? And then have a conversation with them because the two of you have gotten so far from intimate conversation, and then learn something about your partner that you've been with for 10 years. It's like, man, I never knew you evolved to this person, or I never knew you evolved to this mindset. And then that could, lead to better 100%. Sexual intimacy as well.
You might not be the same person that you were last year. You might not like the same. Well, you shouldn't be. You might not like the same things. You know what I mean? Having that conversation with your spouse and learning stuff about them that's new that you didn't know. Oh shit, she likes this too. I like this too. All right, now I'm gonna play this because I know she likes it. But last year she didn't like it. You know what I mean? Things like that. Danny, what's I'm noticing a lot. I'm noticing the eyes and everything. What's up? What's your opinion?
I'm just listening. I'm listening to a lot of physical.
Okay, all right. Well, touch on it, sis.
I'm bored and do this, flip this way instead of that way, or come off the roof and land on my penis.
You might break it.
With women, it's a whole lot more emotional.
Right.
It's a whole lot more emotional.
Right.
And this is why we're almost like darn near devastated when we hear that you cheated, like you stepped out, because it's so much more emotional to us. Whereas when I was bored, so it happened, or I was drunk, it happened. Where we're thinking in our mind, like, what? This connection we have, what we do, you just went and shared that with anybody because you were bored? That's the depth of how we see it. It's never just physical. And even with the women that do say, "Oh, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm gonna cheat too," and things like that, still can't handle it the same.
Oh, no,
Can't
no,
handle
no,
it the same because
Yeah.
that emotional part just can't be released. It's there. So they take these things so much harder.
Jimmy sells Jersey. 0% small talk, 200% grind. They talk, we hustle. At your service for all your New Jersey real estate needs.
So
They-
so why?
That's why we got a woman on the show.
So
That right there.
why do you believe men cheat?
The women are gonna hate me, but I just think it's in men's nature to do so.
Oh,
I think it's in your nature to do so. And the only way you can stop yourself from doing that, if you build up that self-discipline to say to yourself, I'm not going, like Shakir said, I'm just not going to do that.
So I'm going to
What
challenge.
person do I want to be? At
So
the
I'm
end
going
of
to
it?
challenge that.
But I think it's just nature. I mean,
I'm going to challenge that.
Mhm.
Is I don't believe all men. It's in our nature just to cheat.
Mhm.
Yes, and as humans, we all get bored, right? As that.
Mhm.
The part that I think we miss is when we do fall out of love. Because if you're being with someone for a long period of time, there's going to be ebbs and flows of this, right? There's going to be ups and downs of all of this. And when those times that come around that we are down and you say, I'm mad, and you go sleep on a couch or go in another room or whatever, then you starting to break that bond. Like I have a personal situation is if we're mad, I don't care how mad we are.
Not sleeping in another room.
We are not sleeping in separate rooms. We are not sleeping in separate beds, right? We are still going to operate as a one unit, as one couple, and we're going to work through this.
Word.
What happens is we start separating ourselves and separating that emotional connection and that bond, and then I go.
And then once you do that, once you sleep in a different bed or sleep on the couch, it's so much easier for the next time for that to happen again and again and again and again. Next thing you know, you out the house.
Yeah.
I'm a piggyback and kind of disagree with you a little bit in terms of it's just in their nature. It's just in guys' nature to cheat. I think everybody, man or woman, at some point in their life is going to experience cheating in some fashion, whether they're the one doing it or they're the one that got cheated on.
Absolutely.
For example, before you hit the dirt, everybody's going to have an experience with cheating, right?
Absolutely.
I personally feel like what happens is Shakir could be with somebody for 10 years, love him to death, never cheated on him, not one time, and had a great relationship, but for whatever reason, they broke up, then he's not with her no more. Then the next person he's with, he cheats on her left and right. You know what I mean? He didn't cheat on his first relationship. He didn't cheat on his last 10 relationships, but he's going to have that one experience. Everybody has that one experience of cheating before they get put in the dirt. I personally believe. Now, the next person he with, he gets married to him, and he's as faithful as can be until his end days. But from birth to death, he's gonna have at least one experience, and that's man or woman.
You can't be faithful to somebody. You can be,
Mhm.
but you have
You choose to. It's a
you have to
choice.
exactly. You have to have made that decision. You have to have that discipline to say that I'm not going to be that person I was in the last relationship, or I'm not going to be that person anymore in this relationship.
Right.
You have to have that discipline to do it. But have you done it? To whether you've done it in the past, whether you currently, or maybe in the future, men will do it. Women, on the other hand,
women will do it too.
Women are trying to catch up. I say that wholeheartedly.
Nah.
Women are trying to catch.
I'm gonna let Danny finish.
Yeah.
There's some women that are assassins. There's some women that are assassins that cheat better than men.
Understand what catch up means.
Women cheat better than men. I will agree.
Yeah.
But because
assassins,
ninjas.
ninjas.
The women that are doing it, the women are they're either cheating or was cheating or they're trying to catch up. They're trying to.
We gotta expand on that a little bit.
How do I say it? They've been hurt
so long.
They've been cheating on so long. They've been hurt so much, or they have that mindset of, well, I'm a king. Have my mindset.
I want to let you finish. I want to ask a question. When you say they're trying to catch up, are you talking about a woman who has been cheated on within her relationship or marriage, and her man has continuously cheated on her? So now she has transitioned to a place where her mindset has now changed, and now she's trying to catch up within that relationship or marriage? Or are you talking about women who have been cheated on in past relationships? Now she's single. Now it's like, well, now I'm about to catch up and do my thing and
All
do
of
men how men did me.
All of it, yeah.
Okay.
And this is what it has equaled now. Before, women stayed, right? You cheated, you had children outside. That's why a lot of our parents have, multiple children. Oh, we're not the same mother though. We're not the same father though. I mean, we're not the same mother. It's always the same father, but we're not the same mother because it was accepted, so to speak, and the woman stayed right there. Right? We had marriages that last back in the day with all of that going on, because where's the woman gonna go? Now the women are no nonsense, not tolerating it. They're getting divorces and leaving, and then now they're becoming these macho men. Oh, I can sleep with you and then sleep with you and sleep with you and be fine. When in actuality, they're not fine. And women use it for healing too.
I'm glad you said that.
They walk around thinking they have the penis now. No, you don't have the penis, and you don't have the power, and you don't have the control, because you're an emotional being. It's gonna come back to you. It's gonna eat you, because you're gonna find that one guy that you're gonna say, "Damn, I want to be with him," and he's gonna look at you like, "Nah, you
be outside too much."
Right.
Literally.
Like, I'll take a pass, and then look what you did. Because it doesn't answer the same. A man can be with 20, 30. Oh man, yeah, my nigga, your body, your cat. A woman say that?
You out of here.
Right. Imagine walking into a restaurant or a
but
place and everybody's like, "Oh shit, I had that." This nigga think you walking around with somebody. I had that.
I think that's the worst feeling.
That's a bad look. Yeah. That's a bad look.
Man.
Yeah, that's a bad look. But
That's a bad look.
But is that also at a certain age, right?
That's what
Because
I said too.
there is a tipping point where we don't start to think about it as much. There is a tipping point where there is more behind you than in front of you. That no one is worried about what you did
What your
in
body
the
count
past.
is, yeah.
We're going to worry about what we're going to do now and what is our future going to look like.
Right.
So
What are we
tipping
building?
point. Yeah, what are we building, right? What does this look like? Right? And you're not really as concerned.
I do feel that I agree with you 100%, but I also feel like it's a niche market. Not everybody has that mindset. You know what I mean?
But again, because there's a tipping point, right? So you have to get to whatever that tipping point is for you. For some people is I've been out there enough, right? And with so many people. For some people it's age. For some people it's the love of my life, right? So but if there is a tipping point where you say, I don't care. I don't care about your past. I don't care about, what you used to do or who I used to be. What I care about is you and us building this life for the rest of our lives. So that, that might be short, right? I'm probably the oldest in the room, right? So you get to a point that it's, I'm over it. Now, what are we doing? I don't care what you did.
There's some red flags though.
Where's the point of that?
There's some red flags.
The red flags are you continue doing it.
Point I want to know.
No, I think for some relationships, the red flags are like stuff that you saw, you were told about, but you decided to ignore anyway. Them just always come back to bite you in your ass. You know what I mean?
But again, I don't
like you have these
I don't believe
relationships.
that's a tipping point then.
No,
It's not a tipping point, right?
It's
because you still haven't you are not at a point where those red flags. I say red flags is something you're currently still doing. That's a red flag for me. This is what you're currently doing. Your past isn't a red flag, right? When you get to that tipping point, your past isn't a red flag.
When you get to that tipping point.
When you get to that tipping point,
because there's sometimes the red flags is glaring in your face, and you're like,
I think I disagree.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Let's say, I'm just going to use this example. If Danny had both of you and I'm in love with Danny, I don't give, I don't care. Because what are our features going to be?
Nah, chill.
How was you?
No shot.
Shakir
No
threw me
shot.
out. He said bye. Nope.
No shot.
Nah.
Absolutely. Listen, I always say that I would never in my lifetime be with a woman who's been with
Your friends?
anybody I know. No, not my friend.
Any-
Anybody
Wow.
I know at any point in time in my entire life.
Wow.
I don't
Damn.
care if I'm 40 years old and you mess with my homeboy in high school. The answer is no.
Wow.
No woman I deal with on a serious level can ever have dealt with anybody I know at any point in time in my life. Period.
Why do you feel that way?
Because listen, at
just
the end of
gives
the
you
day,
the
right?
ick.
No matter who you meet, man or woman, everyone has been fucked already, right? No matter if you're a man or woman, you had sex already, right? But for me personally, when you have done it with someone I know, that's just
Gives
not
you an extra level of
no.
yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, that's definitely fair.
That's fair.
I
And
agree
it's a matter of preference too. You know what I mean? It's a matter of
It's
preference.
a matter of preference.
That's your
listen,
preference at the end of the day.
I don't prefer that. Right.
But if it happens that you end up falling in love,
It would- I would-
I gotta pick and
wouldn't
choose
even
my
get that far.
battles. And again, how old are you now?
41.
Okay. Potentially at a certain point, you might hit that tipping and say, okay, right?
It's not impossible.
There
to hit
is
that tipping
there
point.
is a
You're right.
time that you will wake up one morning and be like, damn, where did time go?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Damn, right? And I have more behind me than in front of me. And now I'm just really going to be living my best life.
Listen,
I
you
think
can
my
call-
tipping point has always been getting my hand burned. I think that was my tipping point because I'm always the guy. Let's give it a shot. Let's give it. Oh, you know, it's okay. Oh, everybody deserves grace. Everybody deserves a chance.
Nah.
Even though people in your
I
ear,
agree. Everybody don't
even
deserve a chance.
well, here's the thing. Even though people be like, all right, Jay, listen,
Yes.
I don't know. That ain't what you want. She this, she that, she that. Ah, nah. And then 2 years later, you're like, fuck, they told me about that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then now you're just sitting there, you know, looking stupid.
That's why I always say, like, and I've said this in previous episodes, like, I'm not a forgiving person, right? I understand that people are imperfect. I understand that in relationships you're gonna go through things, and it's not with me, it's not a one and done. But there is a number to the bullshit. I'm just not here just to deal with anything, no matter
So
what,
true.
no matter how hard it gets. I'm not here for that. I'm here for, we have issues. I need to see improvement. There's a number to the shit that I'm gonna deal with. It's not 3 strikes and you're out. Maybe like 8 strikes and you're out. Maybe like 10, I don't know, but there's a
Or it
number
might
to
be one.
or it might be
one.
one depending on the infraction.
Right. It might be one.
Sometimes it depends on the person, too.
Exactly.
Bro. It depends on the person because some people are deserving of an extra chance. Some people, you needed to fucking shut the door down before they
Right.
walk through the motherfucker. You know?
Oh yeah,
So,
100%.
Right.
so it really just depends, you know,
But-
on the person.
Okay.
interesting enough, right? So it just, so you guys place, this is just paying attention and observing and listening. You guys place love and physical in two different things, two different aspects. But women place it together, right?
Right.
Love and physical equal both. I love you so much, I'm giving you my physical. Whereas a guy is, I'm giving you my physical and I don't love you. I might love somebody else.
Right.
Got it. But some of the answers like you're given, like we talked about swinging and poly, right? Somebody like Neo with the 2, you think that's enough for him? That suffice because he has the 2, or do you feel like he'll leave the 2 at home because he got bored with them 2 and find another one?
I think
I feel like it's
eventually,
not enough.
yeah, no, eventually he's gonna want that.
Third.
It's no, not even third. Eventually, Neil's gonna cut all that out and find him one woman that is gonna be okay with his past life and all the shit he did, and just like usually, unfortunately for men, sometimes it's not until we get older in life, you know what I mean, that we find that I just want that one, you know what I mean. But right now, homie having a good time. He had a marriage, he had family, he had this, that, and the third. It's his city boy time.
So I hope my
City
pastor
boy
never
told me he
sees
didn't do that
this.
before. Like he did.
Say,
He
"Oh,
was
my
married.
pastor."
But he's
He
out with
was-
it now. He's out with it now.
So I'm going to disagree. And I hope my pastor never sees this. So if you do,
Well, good luck on
listen.
that.
But he was actually, he's also a friend of mine, was telling me this situation where one of the guys in the church, he was married. He had a baby by a young lady in DR.
Oh, he
Wife was said, "I'm done. I'm not having it." Right? Left. They got divorced. Now he's dating, and now he's in a poly relationship. He went to our pastor and asked the pastor to bless it.
Oh my God.
The
Oh
pastor
my
was
God.
like, yo,
You can't be serious.
listen.
Mm-mm.
I can't bless this, right? I understand your situation, everything you're going through, but you just haven't found the one that says, "I only want to be with you," right?
I
And
agree
you
with that.
might just keep on searching and see if you find that one, right? But there is such thing as you might have missed that one. That one may have been in your past and it's too late, right?
Mhm.
We all, at some point in time in life, will have the love of our life, right? And have that person, but we're not smart enough, mature enough to work through the bulls and then stay with them. And now that's past, and you may never find it again.
That's fair. That's a fair
Yep.
point.
Yep,
I do want to circle back to something Danny was saying about men can compartmentalize, and then for women, it's all together, right? I think that as I've gotten older, I think that I've learned from being a dad, I think I've learned that what I think is love may not be love. I have to think of what's love based on what my partner think is love, right?
I love that.
And if I say, okay, I can compartmentalize and love her over here and then go smash these women over here, yes, that may be my natural way of thinking. But if I say I'm in love, because in my opinion, love is a service to your partner, not what your partner does for you, right? So if I'm servicing my partner via love, then I need to put my mindset into her mindset and love her how she needs to love. So if it's all together to her, it needs to be all together to me as well. So
let me piggyback off that. So how do you ensure that you're being loved the right way if you're only loving somebody in the way that she wants to be loved? How do you ensure you're being loved the way you want to be loved?
I think for me personally, that's communication, right? I think that's a lost cornerstone to every relationship is communication. Your partner can't love you if they don't know how to love you.
100%.
If you and I think also I mentioned this earlier through communication and intimate conversations. Someone doesn't have to tell you this is how you love me. If you're having intimate conversations with your partner and you're paying attention and you want to be in tune with them, you will learn
have an
how
idea
to love them without them directly telling you as well.
Understood.
Right? So I think it's just communication, and I think in a relationship, love should be a competition. Right? I think it should be like, I'm gonna love you better than you love me, and she should be like, I'm gonna love you better than you love me, and it should be like this continuous bound of love that's a little bit of a competition.
So what happens when you are in a relationship or a marriage and that person messes up?
Welcome to the woman's side.
Right. How do you
That's everybody.
I was gonna say you have to stop saying that.
I need
There's some women that mess up.
I need
bro.
I'm actually asking. I'm actually asking you.
Looking at me.
Right, I am. I'm
Okay.
actually directing it to
Okay,
you.
all right.
How do you recover from that? Right? And how do you, not only you, but then how do we recover from my mess up?
I'm gonna sit back on this one because I'm curious to hear what Danny has to say.
Because we all, right? There are times we mess up consciously, right? And sometimes, we just been stupid, right? But how do we recover from it?
Well, one, you can't tell me how long I'm supposed to recover. Don't tell me this happened 2 months ago, 3 months ago, a year ago.
I should be over it.
Still, right. Don't do that. Because you don't know the impact you had and what your mistake was to me.
That's a good one right there.
For real. Soundbite clip.
Yeah.
This one going up.
That takes time. A lot of people believe just because I'm saying, hey, sorry, that means that's enough. Let's get past it. It's in the past. It's not.
Sorry, and you're still there is enough.
Right.
They think it's enough. Yeah.
So you give the person time to work with it,
Mhm.
and you have to be
And
willing.
there's no timeline to work with.
And I'm not saying it just for women, but in all, you have to be willing to do what the person needs to heal. It doesn't matter if it makes you uncomfortable. It doesn't matter if it hurts your feelings. Because if I made a mistake, now I have to do something to fix it.
Right.
And if I'm asking you to do this to help me fix it, you don't feel comfortable, it doesn't matter. I need you to feel comfortable and tell me. I need
you to be
answer.
uncomfortable.
Right. I need you
because I was.
Right. Exactly. I need you to answer me. I need the answers and things like that. And also.
But let me ask a question.
But I'm not gonna beat you up with it.
Well, yeah,
that's
because
not my plan in my head to beat you up.
Because let me ask a question is
but it's gonna take a minute.
Like I'm an individual, right? That we talked about this earlier, whereas don't cheat on me because I'm gonna make up stuff all in my head. Excuse me.
You good?
Yeah, because he do some F-bombs and
You gotta stop cursing.
I know you're not talking.
And the reason I say that is there's going to be a time that a tipping point for me. I'm just going to say, I don't need to know the details. I don't need to know exactly what happened, right? And that's I'm addressing to you because you said, if you got to ask a question and everything and we answer it because sometimes
it's not questions about that.
Okay.
Sometimes it's like I need to know where you're at 9 o'clock.
Oh, got you.
I need
Got you.
Before I wasn't pressed about it, but now I am.
Got you.
Like it's 9:30. Where are you?
Got you.
So if I call you up and tell you 9:30,
I shouldn't catch an attitude.
Right. I don't need you to be talking about something. Well, what am I in a prison? Yes.
Yes.
My God, you are in a prison until I let you out.
Yikes.
Probation.
I'm giving you the sentence until I let you out.
Right.
It's not to beat you up. It's not to rein you in and tie you in. It's just that I have to build something back up that was not lost, but just went down a little bit. Because if I love you,
fractured.
Right. If I love you enough, I'm gonna stay on. I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna try my best to hold on and fix it and see if we can get past it. But and then certain things like you might say one thing that you said to me before I knew anybody made a mistake, right? Hey, I'm out here, right? And now you call me after I know you made a mistake. You're like, I'm out here. Now I need you to FaceTime me. Because you said that last time.
Right.
So now I need you to FaceTime me. And
you gotta be okay. Right. You gotta be okay with it because
I need you to put in the work too, because I have to put in work. I have to
Well, it's also showing that you're being honest.
And at the same
and no one should have a problem
if you're honest, if you
proving your honesty.
If you're right, you're right.
The only thing I agree with 95% of what you said. I do. I genuinely do.
What's that 5?
The 5% that I don't that I disagree with is the time piece of it, right? There has to be a certain point where you're like, I gotta stop treating him or her like this for what happened, because at the end of the day, you're still there, right? And so, like, even if when you break a bone, you got to put a cast on it. That cast is on for a period of time, right? And then that cast has to come off, and then the bone have to be re-strengthened again, right? To where physical therapy, but there's still a time frame on it. So it can't be years from now, forever. And you're still like behaving.
From a man's perspective, I agree with everything you're saying. I'm also agreeing with Shakir, because it's very easy to get in this mode where it's going to be like that forever.
Yes.
And then when we like, yo, chill, like, how long is this going to be? Now it's, you don't tell me when, but it's been 5 years now. Like, at some point we got to build. Now it's not about building the trust. Now it's about you just don't trust me at some point. We have to operate in a space where I messed up. I worked on building the trust. I got your trust back, and now we operating as people.
One unit.
But it's tough now, right? Because like you said, you break a bone, whatever, but it's never the same, right? You can still use it, but
it
it's
is
never
the same.
same.
It does.
Nope. If the doctor goes and look at it, he can still see the fracture or the hairline.
That it
or
was
No,
broke-
it doesn't
whatever
happen,
it is
and
that
it's still
was broken
broke.
before.
That
You're
it, but
dead
he
and
can tell him.
gone.
But he can tell it was
Yeah,
broke before.
exactly. You're dead and
If he
gone.
does
in
an
that
X-ray,
cast. Oh
yeah, I
he
think-
can look
listen,
at that
so
bone.
what-
He said this bone was broken.
Correct.
Somebody
Correct.
broke it.
Correct.
Okay, so it never goes away. So when you're building that trust in you, that what's going on, and I'm like Sean, I'll make up a story, and my story is real in my head. My story is real, and I stand by my story until you prove me different. My story is real, and I will function with you as my story is real, right? Until you show me that my story is fake. And yeah, it's tough, right?
Yeah.
That's
But
real tough.
my thing is, you shouldn't put me in that position. We wouldn't have this problem.
I think I would just be like, let me go ahead and pat my bags. Let me go ahead.
And that's what a lot of people do, right?
Go ahead and pat my
A lot of
bags.
people give
Yeah,
up.
that
And they
shit
said,
was-
Let me
"Oh,
pack
go.
my bag and get out of here.
You still telling yourself this
Peace,
story.
people."
I'm out of here.
Nah, but listen, at the end of the day, you gotta put in some work. If that's the relationship you want to salvage, that's the relationship you want to work on, you gotta put in some work. We just on a human level, we gotta not set your limitations or force you or rush you, but at the same time, we also have to set parameters like, yo, it's levels to this. All right, so boom. First level, you whooping my ass. All right, now let me graduate to the next level where you're not so tough with me. All right, let me get to the next level where it's a little bit smoother. And it's levels to it. So we understand your healing point, but now we have to get to a point where
well, I mean, once you start using it as a weapon, it's different. You know,
Correct.
once you start using it as a weapon to the person, then it's different. You haven't let go, and it's not fair to that person. It's not. I'm not here to use it as a weapon to beat you up every left and right. But you're gonna have to put in the work back to get to something. You know, it might not be the same trust, but to get to something.
The one last thing I'm going to say before you to Danny is there is also a point in there where, again, you are making things up in your head. Not you, people. People make things up in their head. And because you're making all these things up in your head, sometimes you look for... Yeah, you're opening wound back up, and then you're trying to find out the details. Sometimes you don't need to know those details. You don't need to make those things up in your head
because you made up the story.
Yeah, right? I can't be beat up for something I didn't
do.
do.
Just gotta let it go and says, I don't want to know, right? And let's move on.
All right, guys. Boom, boom, boom. We have come to that time in the show. Danny knows about it. Sean, this is the time in the show. We're wrapping up. We do takeaways. All right. Everybody says what they took away from the show, and then we close. So I think my takeaway, we talked about a lot. We had a lot of great topics, a lot of great things to say. But I'm gonna go with something that we ended with. Don't make me pay for something I didn't do. All right, I don't want to be punished for something I didn't do that you made up in your head. But I want to work with you. I want to work with you. So that's my takeaway. Shakir's takeaway. He packing his bags. I'm out of here. All right, Danny, what's your takeaway?
It always goes back to communication.
I agree.
Communication. Sometimes people think they're saving your feelings by not communicating something with you, and you're telling them, "Hey, it's okay. Talk to me. Tell me. Tell me if the attraction is leading somewhere. If someone's in your ear and you find that attractive, tell me. Maybe I can work with it. Maybe I can understand. Maybe I can talk to you." But because it may be, but because we're all so afraid of like the other one saying, "Oh no," like bashing you for it. You don't communicate these things.
I agree.
And then things go weirder or but communication is always good, bad, or indifferent. Trying to communicate and express yourself and whatever you feel is key.
I agree.
My friend Sean.
So my takeaway, if you've been with anyone I know or any of my friends, don't even try to hold to me because it's not happening, right? Done. It's with you. No, but really, I say on one of my communications, I say is going really back to Danny and understanding that there is no time limit on these things, and that we just got to continue to trust, work through the situation till we make it work. So thank you.
Love it.
That's fair.
Shakir.
Oh man, I think I got quite a few takeaways from this.
We only need one. We only got 2 minutes.
That's cool. I think my first takeaway is going to be that people have to live the lives that they want to live. There's no sense in living a life in secrecy while dragging someone else along for the ride that they
Clap to that.
didn't sign up for. Right. So
I'm gonna give you that
personal
one,
way.
bro. I'm gonna
Just
give
live the life you want to live and be honest with it, and life will be much better.
I love
I
that.
think also one of the things we touched on as well is that you have to learn how to love your partner how they want to be loved and not how you think they want to be loved. And I think that's one of the strongest things anyone can bring into a relationship is to sit with themselves and say, can I love someone else how they want to be loved, even if it's uncomfortable for me? So that's my takeaway.
Man.
I think this was one of our dopest episodes.
Yeah, man. One of our dopest, probably one of our longest, but
Yeah.
you know, guys, we appreciate you. This again is season 2 of the No Mistakes podcast.
Yeah.
Send those questions.
Absolutely.
Any businesses out there that want a sponsorship, send the information. You can hit us up. No mistakes. We out.
Out of here.
Till next
After
time.
dark.
Hey.
Black, stop playing with it.